Thank you.
This morning we have 103 residents, 5 Medicare residents, 20 private pay residents, 71 Medicaid, and 7 that have made application to Medicaid. It's been very busy since we've moved in. We're adjusting, transition. Again, you always have a few bumps in the road. I believe I mentioned last week that we had a survey, our annual Medicare, Medicaid survey. And I need to point out, because kudos to the staff. First of all, handling the move, it was great. They did the move was a huge success, and the staff just need to be commended for their teamwork, their level of professionalism, and their ability to work with the residents to make that transition as well. Not only that, but the volunteers, etc. But 7 days later, the state comes, and there are 7 surveyors. Can you imagine moving into your own home and having guests 7 days after you've moved in? This is essentially what it was. They expected to see chaos, and they saw not a bit of chaos. Obviously, there are system issues that we're working out, but again, another smooth area. Life safety, again, they looked at building with Bob, fire drills, disaster drills, what have you. Bob Ehlers, who is the bureau chief at the Department of Health and Human Services, found that we were deficiency free. Then they looked at the health audit, and again, numbers of surveyors meeting with resident staff, looking at records, looking at everything we do on a daily business to provide care, from medication passes to recreation to the kitchen, et cetera, et cetera. The only, and I don't want to bore you with all of the details, but basically what they found was one concern, and that was the temperature of our food. We purchased, as part of our new equipment, a charger the plate would go on this pellet, and it would charge. It's a warming unit, and it was inconsistently warming the meals. The other issue is because when we were focusing on the food, we wanted to look at the system of, as soon as it comes off of the tray line, it goes into the cart, goes up to the household. So again, that's a system issue. 7 days, they're doing a good job, but we need to fine-tune that. So that's what they found, is we need to work on that issue. And
doesn't seem to be dramatically difficult.
No, it wasn't. And again, we need to thank everyone, and again, we will be working very diligently on that
Before
area.
you go on to the next page,
sure.
I just have a question with regard to census. It said you have 20 private pay, and then you have 7 made Medicaid applications. Is that coming from the 20 private pay? In other words, will it be down to 13?
No. That's
different.
No, that's different. Okay.
Thank you.
Then this week we had auditors visiting us from the Bureau of Elderly and Adult Services, and again there was a group of 7 or 8 auditors visiting us. As a review, our per diem Medicaid rate is set twice a year, both in January 1st and July 1st. Because we have a replacement facility, we must submit documentation of all of our not all of our expenditures, but all of our capital having to do with the new building, whether it be the building itself or the issue of equipment. And they need to have that by the end of October. Prior, so that they can do their figuring, but it should increase our Medicaid rate and actually help our budget. So we certainly are working hard on that.
Good.
So we're looking at our current depreciation schedule from our old building, eliminating anything that we haven't taken over. That's our first step, and hopefully we'll get that to the state by the beginning of next week. And I'll involve Bob and nursing and all of the departments as far as to make sure that we haven't left any stone unturned. And then we're creating our new depreciation list schedule, and they're asking for some other documents. And Paula, Kathy, Gary, and I are working together to accomplish this. So again, it's we're still busy on the building issues, but that's where we are there. Today we're having a fire drill, and we're focusing on moving one household to another, and the importance of that is if we should need to evacuate or have a fire. And then what are we doing in the old building? Right now we're cleaning the old building up. I asked the department heads to go back one last time to make sure that we've moved everything that we need to move. We have air conditioners that belong to the residents. We need to contact families and get the air conditioners out of the building. And then I've been contacted by several departments within the county complex looking for an old piece of equipment, whether it be file drawers or a desk or a table or something. I'm not sure that we have things that they could use, but once we've gone through that, then we will ask them to come down and check whatever they need out. I have been speaking about having a sale of the equipment once we've gone through all of this, and I think that that's still on tap for what we need to do. Also, in the packet I just distributed, I was looking at my line items, trying to be diligent as far as what was brought forward by the delegation and the commission, having to look at the cost. If we have anticipated an overspending a line by $1,000, we must have the approval of yourself. There are two areas that immediately jump out at me, and that has to do in the area of rehab.
Area of what, Sam?
Rehabilitation services. And what I did is I looked, and that's based on our revenue as well. So there are two line items that I have overspent, and again, it's much more than $1,000. One is under speech therapy, Part B, and I included a revenue sheet, but for everyone's interest, speech therapy Part B, I budgeted $100,000 as far as revenue. Right now, I have taken in $136,400. So my revenue exceeds the budget by 136.4%. So it's because this is a contracted service. We look at right now, if you look through August, and this is when our revenue is from through August, I should be at 66.64%. And under speech Part B, I'm at 136.40%. So I've certainly exceeded my revenue, but that drives my expense. So I need to make you aware of that.
But will the expense exceed the revenue?
No. So again, I think if you look at historically under rehab, you will always see as we increase our revenue, we're going to increase our expense, and we've done a lot more speech therapy for our under a Medicare benefit. Good morning.
Good morning.
And then a physical therapy, Part B, which is the other area that I have exceeded.
What was it, Sandra?
Physical therapy, Part B.
PT.
And if you look at PT Part B, I budgeted a revenue of $350,000. So far through August, I've taken in $373,000. So right now, I'm at 106.6% of my estimated revenue. So again, and under physical therapy Part B, I've exceeded my line item by $6,192. So you can see that the revenue has offset my expense, but I'm just bringing it to your attention because that's, I believe, what I'm being asked to do. I do believe that there will be, over the next month or next few weeks, we will be looking at heating because we expect our, the propane and heating to exceed our budget. And I was just, Commissioner Sorensen, I was just going over what I had, trying to follow what I need to do. Two other items. I had an emergency request and sought approval, but I did not bring it here. We have floor mats, and this is part of our move. In our old building, our beds, usually one bed was close to the wall, so we had a floor mat on one side. But now that bed is not against the wall, and for those residents that fall, I needed to purchase more mats. It is covered under our nursing equipment, or our equipment line item having to do with the move, but the amount was $3,850 with an additional $245.37 for freight, which brought it to $4,095.37. And that is, there wasn't a question in regard to the type of mat. It was the issues of we needed it, and we needed it yesterday. So I'm bringing it here for where we are. And then the last item has to do with meal tax. I need to have a commissioner's signature as well. It has gone to the state and back for just one signature. And we have actually received our certificate for our meal tax when we're ready to have some charges made. But again, I signed it, but they needed someone's signature as far as an officer. And I believe that was submitted a month or so ago.
Yes. Do you think that the cafe will be ready for next month? Any chance?
I'm not sure.
Just interested.
What we want to do is do it well, and where we've had some timing issues in regard to carts, and that's not only the dietary department, it's receipt of the cart and being ready to serve, as well as making sure the hot food is hot. We want to make sure that we iron out any product issue we have or service issue before we do something else.
I have a question that came up in the course of conversation I had over the weekend, and I think I have to direct this to Bob. Someone taking a tour of the facility on that Sunday questioned about putting up pictures belonging to residents in their rooms, and how you would get that on the wall, since you can't put nails in the wall. Have you figured out anything yet?
Oh yeah, we're providing them with the 3M picture hangers. They're a self-sticking device.
Has it worked? Have you tried it?
We've had some success and we've had some failure. If they're installed properly, you have to read the instructions. If they're installed properly, we've had success. If they're not installed properly, things fall off the wall. But for the most part, it's been successful. People cannot hang heavy items on them. They have to be fairly lightweight. We're still in the process of hanging items for people, and if residents, family members ask us for those hangers, I give them to them and let them hang things in the rooms where they want.
Okay. Just the suggestion that was given to me about this, though this is certainly would be costly, is what they do. She said what they do in colleges. They have this piece on the wall, a metal or some sort of not a bracket.
It's a very, very narrow corkboard.
Yes. No, it's just a strip.
The molding up ahead.
Yeah, like a strip of molding, and then you dangle something down from it. So that was one suggestion, if all else fails.
If all else fails, yeah. I'd like to see how it goes with these hangers first, the 3M hangers. We've already purchased them. They're here. I've got a feeling that what you're talking about may be costly.
Oh, yes, unquestionably would be costly.
Multiply that by 103
exactly.
rooms.
Precisely.
And, last resort.
Yes.
I had a suggestion. On the suspended ceiling, they sell those little white clips that clip into the end. You can run a string.
Yeah, but there aren't any suspended ceilings in resident rooms. It's all high ceilings.
Oh, it is high ceiling.
Yeah. Yeah. Suspended ceilings are out in the hallways.
So you thought of everything.
Well, not quite. We try to.
Okay, and with regard also to maintenance of the building, are you having any problems?
No. Everything's running rather smoothly, actually. We're still defining our procedures for trash removal and floor cleaning and whatnot, but we're narrowing it down, and it seems to be going well.